and welcome to another Lumio Live. I am really excited this week to be talking to you about label reveal, which actually happens to be one of my favorite activities that we've got in Lumio, and lots of folks surprisingly tell me that they don't use it. And so my goal for today is to show you that there's so many ways to use it, and I'm really excited. This is also the first Lumio Live that I've done this school year by myself, so I feel nice and lonely. So if you want to come hang with me for a Lumio Live, if you want to be a guest, reach out to us on Lumio Social on Instagram, and we would love to have you visit. So with that, I'm going to start out by showing you a very easy way that you can use a Lumio Live, or I'm sorry, wow, this is Lumio Live. I'm showing you a label reveal. This is what happens when they leave me alone. A really simple way that you can use a label reveal is for a choice board. So this was one that I actually found in our Lumio library. And if you don't spend any time exploring our Lumio library, it is a really good place to go to just grab some ideas, see what other folks have created. We have so many awesome things in there. I think I just typed in label reveal, and this was one of the first few things that came up. It also was in our game-based activities toolkit. But this teacher that created this used a little tic-tac-toe board. And so at the top, you'll see that there's some directions. So complete the game by playing tic-tac-toe. Each of the columns here are a different category. So the goal is that they pick one from each. And so they are going through, they're able to see different activities that they can complete, different questions. And that is a very simple way to have a label reveal right inside of a lesson. And what's really nice about using it this way is specifically in a self-directed way. So what I like to do is on the top left of my screen where I have my little people, I call that my little classroom management. I can click on there and you'll notice that you've got a button that says lesson pacing, and you can set it from teacher or student. If something is in teacher mode and you've got your students connected with you live time, as the teacher flips the screen, your students are locked in with you with whatever page that you're on. But if you switch over to student mode, they actually get the ability to navigate through those pages on their own, which the reason I'm showing you that is for my next label reveal idea that I've got. And for here, I have an activity. Maybe this is the beginning of a new science unit. And before we start learning about weathering and erosion, I want my students to just take a look at this image here. So at the top, I've started with some directions. And I've said to my students, in your notebook, answer the following questions. Be ready to share your ideas. I love the ability to be able to combine technology and still have paper and pencil. But just in case, I wanted to make this digital so it'd be easy for me to collect my students' work, is after they go through and they observe this image, they scan through it, they answer my guided questions here. What do you notice about the landscape? What do you think the difference is of weathering and erosion? I've actually created on my following page here a graphic organizer, and I've turned it into an individual handout. So kind of like a little note keeper here for my students. Again, if I go to my classroom management, I've set my lesson to be student pacing, which allows my students to be able to navigate through the pages on their own. They're not locked into the page that I'm on myself. So what that means is, let's say, okay, answer these questions from the label reveal. Question number 1. Oh, I don't totally remember what it was. They'd have the ability to come back here. They can find question number 1. And that told them to document, what do you notice about this image? So again, being able to kind of go through, use the image as their thoughts. Something else I wanted to call out, and it was something really, really exciting that came out in Lumio. I think it was like early last week. And this was a feature that so many folks were asking us for. And that was the ability to export student results. And so if I had students logged into my lesson here, if you've ever done an individual handout, when they're done, you've got all the little tiles here with all of your student names. And if you are part of our beta channel, you'll now have a little button on the bottom right of your screen here that'll say export student results. And so many folks were commenting in our Facebook group asking when it was coming, when it was coming. It is here. We're super excited. If you take a look at our Facebook page or our Lumio Instagram, there is a little video that you can watch that kind of shows it. But I just wanted to make sure for those of us logged in live today that you saw that that feature was there. Label reveal, like I said, can be used in so many different ways. I think one of the easiest ways that we can think about label reveal is for labeling. So if you've got the parts of a plant, you've got the parts of a clock, here's one idea of how you can use it. So if they're just learning about what all the different parts of a clock is, this teacher here, again, a lot of these resources I found right in our Lumio library, labeling which the big hand is, what the smaller hand is, Over here, I got this from one of our teachers that focuses in on learning a second language. So just an image where they're able to click and see the word in English first. And then if they need that support, they can pop open the window further. They'd be able to see it in Spanish as well. Let me zoom in here so you can see that a little bit better. Then we've got here some notes from a math teacher of the only thing that I remember from my math experience, y equals mx plus b. But if you ask me to identify exactly what each of those means, I don't remember. But lucky me, I've got this label reveal that'll help me break apart all the parts of this equation. This was a really fun example, and I'll tell you where I got it from. I was out in South Carolina over the summer working with Florence School District, and I had some high school teachers in the room with me, and they wanted to do it as a reading reflection. They had just finished reading Othello, and so there's just kind of some reading comprehension reflection questions. What could Othello have done differently? What was kind of happening in the story during this image that you see on the screen? So that was a really cool idea that I grabbed. This one here was made by Michelle Conway, who was a former professional development specialist here at Lumio. And she had here for social studies students, she had this really cool idea where they just learned about the Declaration of Independence. But then she had students doing this reflection activity of before they signed it, there was actually 3 different decisions that they were kind of deciding between. So those are the 3 on the screen. And then the follow-up graphic organizer was work with your group and what do you think would have happened if they went with one of the other decisions? What would our world look like today if that happened instead? Then we've got yet another just simple labeling activity. This is taking a look at the cells here and figuring out what all of these crazy words that I'd never be able to read, what they all mean. So I just wanted to leave you all with some different ideas of what you can do with a label reveal. And I'm going to pop out here and go into edit session just to show you where I can find a label reveal. Once you are in your editing here and you want to create one, you're going to go to your blue plus button. And then you've got your menu here of all the different things that you can build in. I'm going to click on game-based activities, and there is your label reveal. Very easy to use. Once you're here, you can go ahead and select your image. You can bring something in from your computer, or you can search something. So maybe I will search for an image of a clock, just like we had in one of those examples. And let's find something. I think I like this one here. Once you've got your image, all you need to do is start clicking in it, and then you'll get your first pop-up. Those 3 little dots indicate that you can move it around. You can start typing. I'm just going to type in XYZ here. And then you also have the ability to drop down to enter even more information if you need. You can click on change style. So if you want it to be that circle or a square or make them a variety, you can do that as well. And then once you're done, you'll just hit finish. Once your students are connected, this is what it would look like on their screen. There it is. And if I had typed in some notes, it would be on the bottom for you as well. So I highly recommend everyone check out Label Reveal. There are so many ways to use it. It's one of my favorite features. And if you think of any cool ideas, let us know. Post it on our Lumio Facebook, drop it in our ambassador platform, or tag us on Instagram. See you guys next time.